Okay, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about this channel. I don't do a story unless I am surprised by the story. And even though we've done thousands of videos of thousands of examples of large-scale black mob violence, every single one I'm still surprised at. I'm still surprised, not at just the level and the quantity and the quality of the violence. I'm also surprised at the reporters who always pretend that they are surprised. The story you're going to see in a minute, the most surprising part, where the guy actually had the nerve to admit, had the gonads to admit, the chief cop for the Philadelphia transit system, he looked into the camera and said, "Oh yeah, this happens every day. This happens every day." So I checked into Google. I wanted to see if there was some raw video of what happened the last couple of days, because there's 2 large-scale episodes of black mob violence in the last 2 days. So I looked at the video, saw this one. No, that's not it. That's just a bunch of black kids on the Philadelphia subway beating the hell out of some white kids. Then we got to this one. That was the last one was, I don't know, what, a couple months ago. This was a couple months ago. A large-scale episode of black mob violence, attacking cops and residents and commuters. Same area, Center City.
And new video of a teen flash mob accused of beating, robbing, and attacking people in Center City. They assaulted police officers as well. This is surveillance video of the suspects as they made their way along 18th between Chestnut and South Streets. 2 teen girls have been charged, but police need help identifying the others.
Then I said, well, okay, I'm going to do my investigative reporter thing. I'm going to look this up on Google. And look at all these episodes of large-scale black mob violence on SEPTA. Oh, the teens are up to no good on SEPTA every day. So the newspaper reporters are only getting a small slice of what's happening on the subway. Let's hear the latest story from Philadelphia.
For the second day in a row, brawling erupted between young people at SEPTA stations in Center City, Philadelphia. Dismissal time at school is becoming danger time on mass transit. Action News reporter Christy Aletto was live at the 15th Street station at City Hall. And Christy, you've got the full story.
That's right, Jim. SEPTA police say for the last 3 years they've had to beef up patrol around the times that students are dismissed for that very reason. Both incidents, they say, are a testament to why this is so necessary.
Normally when I come down here, there's a lot of talking, but it's not as loud as it was. So I knew something was wrong.
SEPTA police believe this brawl, caught on a cell phone, started as a war of words between a group of teens on the trolley lines, then escalated at the subway surface entrance leading up to Dilworth Park. It then allegedly got more than physical when 18-year-olds Theodore Smith and Tamira Barlow got involved.
But in this case, you have an 18-year-old drawing a knife and was threatening the 14 and 15-year-olds.
Both teens are now charged with assault. Chief Nistel says the violence is not isolated.
Isolated to what? These are kids beating kids every day. There's nothing isolated. It is every day in the city of Philadelphia, somewhere on the system, kids beating kids.
Late this afternoon, Chopper 6 was overhead of another teen tussle that was quelled by a heavy police presence at Bridge and Pratt along the Market-Frankford line.
And it's not surprising to me because there's always fights.
And it's alarming because you're not too sure what you're going to walk into.
SEPTA riders cope with what they say is part of the culture of commuting on public transit.
We have a police presence that's typically around here, so I feel comfortable about that, but there are times that you walk through and there's no one here, so you don't know what's going to happen.
It can happen to anybody. That's why you have to keep your head up for any person that could be endangered.
Now, fortunately, the victims in the first incident had minor injuries. No one was injured in the second incident, though 3 people were arrested.
So how many stories have we seen lately, where we got public officials, chiefs of police looking in the camera saying, this is out of control. This black violence is out of control. Mayor of Baltimore said it. City Council President in Cleveland said it. This guy said it. School officials all over the country are saying it. That's just the last couple days. We just did a video on this a few days ago. That's one thing about Minds that's different than YouTube. Just a little more difficult to find your old videos and do playlists and all that stuff. No matter, it's easy to find. Large-scale black mob violence is now just the price you pay for living in downtown Philadelphia. You know, home of the Liberty Bell, where they did signed the Declaration of Independence, just a few blocks from where all this argy-bargy's going on. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Any of that ring a bell? Doesn't have the same meaning in Philadelphia anymore. By the way, I mean, even the word Philadelphia has a misunderstood meaning. Everybody thinks it means the Quakers holding hands, making plans. Oh, by the way, I got to tell you this story about Philadelphia. I just heard the other day. So everybody knows William Penn came to the U.S. He was a Quaker, kind of a fringe religious group in England at the time. Still, never really got above the French thing. Anyway, landed in Delaware, went up to Philly, started Pennsylvania. Did their Quaker thing. Philadelphia means city of brotherly love. It's a Greek word. Comes from the Spartans. Spartans, brotherly love meant the bond formed in combat between soldiers. People who have been in combat together. They said that's the strongest bond there is on the planet, even stronger than motherly love. That's what they named Philadelphia after, and nobody knows that. But let's get back to Philly and William Penn. So again, they're doing the brotherly love thing. I got a call from my buddy in England the other day. He said, "Hey, Colin, William Penn, he founded Pennsylvania with money. The king borrowed a bunch of money from William Penn's dad. So William Penn, after a certain time, went to the king and said, "Hey, I don't want this to be a thing, but I think you owe me a little bit of money." The king says, "Well, I don't really have it. How about a nice big old piece of land in the New World? You can have that." So he gave him what we now call Pennsylvania and Delaware. The money the king needed from William Penn's dad was a money to fight a huge war in Ireland. Anyway, so it's weird how this goes round and round and round. Pennsylvania was founded with the proceeds of a war, English against the Irish. And I guess maybe it's all still the same, because Philadelphia is a dark and dangerous chocolate city with a new district attorney whose one goal is to prove to everybody that white racism is everywhere. Black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism. Too many black people in prison, too many in jail, too many getting arrested, too many getting tried, too many getting convicted, too many being sent away for too long of a time. That's his thing. In Philadelphia, there's a famous guy. He's a cop killer. I forget his name. I feel like if I say his name, it'll be like an NBA player or something. I'll put his picture up here. Anyway, he's one of these guys that is now a cause celeb. He's one of these guys where private girls' colleges write him letters and he gives lectures at their colleges, through some kind of weird connection. He's still in prison. I mean, he killed a cop. It is said that the new district attorney of Philadelphia, and this comes from cops and from muckety mucks in Philadelphia, this new district attorney in Philadelphia is going to do everything he can to get this guy a new trial. What that means is there will not be a new trial. Just because somebody on a court grants a new trial, that means if they kick it down to the DA, then it's the DA's decision to give or not give a new trial. This was like 25 years ago. Then all of a sudden, it's like, we don't have any witnesses anymore. And, it's a long time. People don't want to do this. Can't we just let this go? Let it go. He's out. People are going to freak when that happens, because in Philadelphia, this is a textbook example how crime is the new black entitlement. Did you see anybody on that news report outside of that one cop who's not going to be long for that job because he's not down with this program? Did you see anybody on that news report who seemed to be upset, surprised, astonished at that level of black criminality in the subway? No, they're only denial, deceit, and delusion. Could happen to anybody. We got to keep our head on a swivel. That's what it's like living in the big city. Because everybody knows if you live in a big city, you are under the constant threat of black violence. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that there are white kids rolling around in downtown Philadelphia doing that? I would love to see that video. I would love to see that news story. I would love to see that police report. But instead, all we get are news reports about 200 black people rampaging through the campus of Temple University or through the subways, causing all sorts of violence, mayhem, chaos, destruction, defiance, and worse. And then we get the local newspaper, the Philadelphia Inquirer, running a big story going, hey, why is everybody trying to make the fact that 200 black people ran through Temple, why are we making that about race? Why? You know, in Philadelphia, all you've got to do is go to the drugstore, get a magic marker and a 2x2 foot sign, write Black Lives Matter on it and police suck. Stand out on a corner at midnight, you'll have 3 TV stations there asking you for your opinion on this relentless white racism causing all this black criminality. But yet here we get all this black criminality in Philadelphia, large scale, so big you can't ignore it. How hard do you have to work not to connect the dots? How hard do you have to work to say, look at those stories and go, no, Colin, no, just because every single one of these things, every single one, and there are dozens and dozens every year on the subway alone, forget other parts of the world, city. How hard do you have to work to look into the camera and pretend you don't notice the pattern? That's a lot of work. You need even more than work. You know what it is? It takes unbelievable acting and dramatic chops. That's what we saw here. Because if you've got a good anchor and a good reporter, you give them some good acting skills, no matter what happens, we can pretty much guarantee the black kids will not get angry.